Well, draws galore is the flavour of the month as we slip to mid-table in the J1 League, but today we return for transfer deadline day, and remarkably, we're being linked with nobody. I am a frustrated man at the moment, and by the end of this episode, I might be wanting a new job. Yes, hello, and welcome along to part 39 of the Head Coach with me, Daniel. We are back today for transfer deadline day, which has come a little earlier than I expected. We'll then play the League Cup second round first leg against Osaka, and depending on how busy deadline day is, we'll get in the game against our former club who we left to come here, Yokohama, who may well look like they're near the relegation zone in 17th, but in truth are only 1 point behind us. We are 2 points off 19th place in the relegation zone. We are 7 points off the top of the league. It has not been an ideal start. If you're looking forward to it, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know in the comments if you think our director of football will do anything, because at the moment, we've got injuries, we've got problems, and we just keep drawing games. The only positive since the last episode, there has been the one signing, which was hinted at in the last episode. Not a position we need, but has been a useful pro. And we've also made it through to the Champions League last four, where we'll play Vissel Kobe. And at the moment, we're going to get absolutely battered in that game. But for now, let's have a look back at what's happened since you were last here. You were with me for the two draws against Port and Vissel Kobe, which started the run of draws in the league. We did win the second leg of that tie 2-0 though, as we expected. Tabakovic finally turned up when it mattered. We then drew 2-2 at Yokohama FM. It wasn't a great performance, but from 2-0 down, we did really well to get back in it. Araki and Kato with his first for the club after joining not long after the last episode. Against Nagano, third tier opposition in the League Cup, we went strong in the first leg and won by 5-1. The new signing Kato got 4 of them and Araki added 1 as well. It was over by half time. We won 3-0 in the second leg with a rotated team. Young Araki, Kostic and Suzuki getting 1 apiece before a 1-1 draw away at Hiroshima. And again, Kato is the goal scorer. So maybe I do need to give some credit to our director of football, because Matsuki Kato, he's got one thing, and that is an eye for goal. He's popped up with 7 in his first 4 appearances, and so far he's been really important for us. But with Ishida coming back now, we've got the depth there. We've still not got any other signings, and that is a huge problem looking ahead to this season. To have lost 3 wing-backs with the 2 sold there and the 1 who had his loan ended, and to only have signed 1 is baffling. If you look at the squad planner, it is still by far the weakest position at the club. There's still only a 2.0 there. But if you go through to the inbox for deadline day, we're linked with nobody. When it came to this bit, where we've normally got rumours galore, we're not linked with anyone, only other clubs with our players. And when we look at the actual rumours for the club and from the press officer, there's nobody that we're linked with, and a few players linked with a move out, which could be even worse. You look at Matoma, who is one of the only wing-backs left. You look at Tabakovic, who is the best target man at the club still. And I'm absolutely petrified of what's going to happen in this day. We've got to be linked with someone eventually. There's got to be a sign-in. There can't be sales. I'm really, really scared. Let's see what happens on this day, because if it's bad, I might want a new job. Let's go and see what the next 16 hours bring. We're 2 hours in, and we've got 3 offers, 2 for permanence, 1 for a loan. Young players, Kamiya has had an offer rejected, as has Nagayoshi. We've also got a loan offer for our backup keeper, Aguchi, which has been rejected too. So let's see if they can stay strong and keep rejecting the bids. But most importantly, are we even going to see an offer for a player in? Even a youngster would be stunning at this point. At the moment, it's looking pretty bleak, and I've no idea why nothing's happening. Not what we saw from Hiroki Izumi all the way back at Gifu. Well, maybe there is some good news on the horizon. We've had another midfield injury, some more rejected loan offers, but now there is an offer for a player. Please let it be a senior one. It's not, but it's an 18-year-old wingback who would be competitive at the moment. 325 grand, rising to $1 million. 2-star ability, 3.5 potential. I mean, he's not great, but it's needs must at the minute. He's injured. He's not worth the money they're offering. But he is good mentally. He's determined. He's brave. He's quick. He should improve. And he's played games for Tokyo, to be fair. He's been starting for them this season. Maybe wing-back's a problem area in Japan. We've also got offers for Kamiya and Nagagoshi. One of those has been accepted for the centre forward. He's a good young player as well, so that's a bit of a shame. But Arawa have offered 725 grand with a big sell-on clause as well. Hayashi, another rejected bid. 2 grand a week offered to Kanazawa. While it's not a first-team player we were looking for, he's offered him a squad player role, so he's obviously expecting him to feature on the bench at least. Let's see if that deal gets done. Maybe he might even want to sign someone on the right-hand side, where we're incredibly weak. Wouldn't be a bad idea, would it, Hiraya? Well, first deal of the day is the departure of the striker. 550 grand guaranteed, 40% sell-on, and a very good player for the future. So we'll keep an eye on his progress because might end up making the club money. Saruki's wanted out, but he's now injured, which probably helps us in the short term. We've now got 3 centre midfielders out, which is problematic too. There's 5 hours remaining. That deal is still not done. And there's no sign of a right back coming in, which could be a big problem. Right, we have a sign-in, which is Kazunori Kanazawa. He is coming in on a 2.5-year deal, nearly 3-year deal. Now a breakthrough prospect. Okay, so not a squad player. He's coming in to be a backup, but we'll keep him involved and we'll see how he does when he gets back from injury. We've got an offer for Go Tanaka, who's one of our best young midfielders, and another loan offer that's rejected. With 4 hours remaining, let's go and meet the new guy and hopefully get an offer for a right-sided player as well. Oh my God, I've just seen the news as we come back. They've cancelled the deal. He's failed his medical because he's out for 2 weeks with a pulled hamstring. That's not how it works in modern football. You don't pull players out of deals because they've got known injuries for 2 weeks. Oh, you idiot. I'm starting to think that this is a conspiracy theory. The board want us out, so they're getting a director of football to give us the weakest and most imbalanced squad possible and leave us with no choice but to try and do a runner. You had a pretty busy transfer window. Not been busy enough though, has it, mate? 3 hours remaining and there's no sign of an in. Have we got any more offers? There's an offer for Tanaka, which is rejected. Loan offer for Araki, rejected. For Yamada, rejected. I mean, at least there's not more going out, but what a hammer blow to finish a very bad window. I am gutted. 1 hour remaining. Deadline day. It sees no arrivals. Well, we had 2 more rejected offers late on, and we got a bit more money due to an instalment for somebody else, but that is just so bad. We've got 1 right wing back in, 2 strikers in, and we've let a lot more go. When you consider Machino went for 4.5 million, when you consider that at the moment the transfer budget is 4.5 million, the wage budget, there's 35 grand remaining. I mean, how's the club still losing money, first and foremost? Have they got big loans or something? No. I've no idea where the money's going. Probably on wages to a couple of poorer players. This is an infuriating season. It's going to be difficult. My plan is now as follows. Try and get through the Champions League semi-final. If we get to the final, we'll stick around for it because I want to win a trophy. If we don't, we start looking for another job. We're coming to the end of the European domestic season. There's going to be lots about. And we've played continental football now. We've got a reputation that's 2.5 star with another coaching badge almost done. I feel we've got to do it. Our contract's out this year. We're mid-table when we've got to finish top 2. And I don't see how we achieve it. Let's go and get through to the 2 matches today because we're going to need something special to get results. Right then, a few enforced changes today and a couple returning from injury as we face Cerezo Osaka in a 2-legged League Cup tie. I've tried my best basically to balance the foreign rules and balance the players who are fit. Zaruki is out long term. That is not ideal. We're also without Yasuda, Bergson our first choice goalkeeper, and Sakaragara and Ashida both only able to play part of the game. That means I've gone for the following lineup with Aguchi in between the sticks, Wada, Ademfal and Watanabe the back 3 with Handa and Kostic in at wing back. We've gone for Hainan and Ugawa the midfield 2, literally the only 2 who are fit. Mitoma, I need to keep spare as a right wing back. Araki is then in behind Ashida and Zabakovic. We've got good quality on the bench if we need it. So let's go and get through to the League Cup tie. We've got 4 days between this and the Yokohama game, so I'm trying to put the pressure on getting a job done at home. We all know how well that worked when I tried it in the first leg against Port, but it worked against Nagano. Hopefully it'll work here. Then we can rest people between the league games because we've got to start picking up points in that. Into the first half, the stadium is half full and there's not much to cheer about at the minute. Can we start winning games? Because Vissel Kobe are flying through the competition. Yokohama, who we're facing at the weekend, are winning already. And we're having a tricky start. So hopefully we can get on the front foot soon. At the moment, 23 minutes gone and nobody's had a shot. Let's try and encourage the lads, get a bit out of them. Just hope we see something soon. Well, it might be the worst first half we've ever seen so far with no shots on target at all. But it might get worse now because our visitors are on the break and they're starting to push forward. We have got back into our shape well as Mura at the back finds Nakano. And the visitors push forward. They're not a great side in the top tier. And we would hope we can get past them as Shibanoki puts the ball into Vasquez. Headers in. 1-0. For the first time in this entire save, I feel like things are starting to fall apart. We had a tough start at Gifu, but then Azumi was brilliant. At Yokohama, yes, it was frustrating the way some things were dealt with, but we were still given a strong enough squad to compete with our targets. Here, we're one of the best sides in the country. We've got massive resources and we've not used them. I'm disappointed. Ishida has picked up another knock despite it saying he could play 75 minutes. So Kato, the new wonder boy, is on and we need to get a reaction quick. 0-1, no shot on target. We've not even looked like threatening their goal, I've got to be honest with you. What on earth do we do here? Nothing is happening. We've got a corner kick now. Can we find the spark as Hayden puts it in? Tabakovic is up. Useless with his feet, but he's scoring goals in the air. We're really missing the midfield drive of Zaruki. We're really missing the qualities we've got. But we're finding a solution at the minute. And at the very least, we're back in a tie. But it's still not looking great, is it? With 25 to go. Handa's going to be replaced by Mitoma. Kostic is going to be replaced by Leader. Sakaragawa for the tired Tabakovic. And then what else do you do? I just don't know. We're going to leave the last one in case of an injury or whatever. We're going to encourage the boys. Do I go positive? Last time I tried that worked against me, but looking at the midfield, it's knackered at the minute. So Araki is going to be replaced by Matsuo, who's a natural striker, a natural attacking instinctive player. And we are starting to get on top, but without any sign that we're going to threaten for a winner here. It's a very disappointing day. It's been a nothing game. And again, it's another uninspiring draw. But what am I supposed to do? We've got 3 or 4 areas of the team that are utterly average. We've got 2 or 3 where there's no depth due to injuries. And every time our star player comes back from injury, he gets injured again. It's a very frustrating time. Let me at least say that. Ishida should be back for the weekend where we'll leave him on the bench. But in the second leg, we're going to need a better performance. But it's starting to feel like the beginning of the end here. And for the first time, I feel we've been done dirty by the director of football. Let's get ahead to Sunday where we play our former club Yokohama. And if we lose that one, I might have to leave of embarrassment because they'll then go above us. Well, it's fitness test time ahead of this huge reunion with our former club. We could be in relegation trouble if we don't win this one. And what's more amusing is we've been almost mocked in the last few days as we got our top target recommendation from the scout reports. A great centre midfielder who can cover right wing back. Don't even get me started. Let's get through to the fixtures because this is a big one. We're into this April spell where we've got games literally every 3 days. And now it's the same in May because of our run in a Champions League. I don't know what to prioritise, but I feel we've got to start winning in the league. Our next 2 are at home to our 2 former clubs, Yokohama and Gifu. If we win them, we're back up in that mix. If we lose them, we could actually be bottom of the table. So let's try and get some results here. We'll get the opposition instructions on. We've got a couple of players returning. Ishida can be on the bench, but Agawa is now struggling as well. Yasuda is fit enough for 45 minutes, so the bench is going to be strong today. The 11 maybe not so much. Back in a minute to run through the team. Well, again, enforced changes, the flavour of the day, as Kato comes back in for Ishida, who's not actually recommended to be picked at all. So Suzuki is on the bench instead. That will meet the homegrown at the club rule-ins. Bergson is fit to return in goal. We've also brought Mitoma in the midfield because Yasuda not fit enough to start, Agawa not fit enough to feature. And then the bench is a bit of a mismatch, to be honest. We've got no real natural centre midfielders, no one who can naturally play right-sided. We're just desperately hoping that we can cobble something together and get enough to get a result today. Yokohama have not started great, but they go above us with a win. This is the 11 we've gone for. Mitoma is in, Kato is in, and the bench is all change. Through to the first league game of April, and we have got to stop the run of draws, but in the right way, with the 3 points. Well, 6 changes for our visitors today, and they have not changed a huge amount. It's a very familiar team. Takahashi up front, we know. Vitalucci, Kralicki, Kudo, Perales, Fitzwater, Diogenes, all very familiar names. And even on the bench, the likes of Shiba, Morishima, Agawa, Hatano, we know them all. There has not been a lot of change there. So let's go and get through to the first half. Sakuragawa on the bench against his former club, not really fit enough to feature much. So let's just hope we can do the job. And maybe we'll even have a shot on target in the first half today. Who knows? Or maybe not, because early doors it's a Yokohama throw in a very advanced position. Vitalucci's headed it in. We're in trouble here. We had our first questions in the pre-match press conference about the pressures of the job and the situation we're in. And we are not doing a great deal to change that at the minute. We could be at very big risk of a sack here. And the head coach might be starting to get back to usual service as Araki into Kato. Oh no. He started at the club like a house on fire. If he starts missing a target from them, we are in big trouble. We might as well pack up and go home because we ain't getting results. 25 minutes, no shot on target again. That's despite the fact we've had the best chance of the match and not done anything with it. We've got a free kick now on halfway. And it's just going to be floated in by Kostic, who's got good delivery traditionally. Will it lead to something? Up towards Araki. Knocked down but not away. Falls for Handa on the edge. The right wing-back's in. And he scored with his left foot. The cracking finish from a Demphal's knockdown. Not the most likely of sources. And not the most expected man to produce the finish. But if you're watching centre forwards, that's what you do. You put the ball in the bottom of the net. You keep it low. You get it near the corner. And you get yourselves back on top. We're level at half-time. We are producing nowhere near our best football. We've got nerves throughout the team. We've got backup players in there. And we're not getting much out of them. So we'll give it 15 minutes. I might throw the 2 other strikers on if we get a bit tight there. And of course, we've got Yasuda, who should be able to do half an hour. But it is a risk when you're bringing on lots of injured players or players who are just coming back and returning. As we approach the hour mark, we've had a few shots according to the stats, but nothing worth seeing on camera. And Watanabe plays out to Matoma as we look to break through. Araki forced inside, he's giving it away. Hainan's kicked the referee. Why is he in the way? Hainan does win it back, but the long ball is aimless. And again, Yokohama have the chance to counter with Kralicki. He takes on the fullback inside. There's 2 in the middle. Takahashi's there. Oh, it's becoming a very difficult job, this. And I don't want to make excuses because we've got a side that in theory should be winning this game. But the director of football hasn't helped us here. To compete every 3 days with basically a bare 11. It's not ideal. Tabakovic off for Sakuragawa. Save us against your former club. Suzuki the homegrown star if ever there's a day. Yasuda on for Hainan, who's been shocking. He'll switch sides with Matoma. Leader's going to come on for Kostic, who again has had a stinker. And I'm going to bring Asada on for Watanabe, I think, because... In fact, no, I'm not. I'm going to save one in case of injury. But we are going to have a real berate of the lads here. It's been a poor performance. It's been a poor start to the season. We're just not finding our way as Sakuragawa tries to break through. It falls for Leader. Options inside. It's back to the target man. Not really where you want him before the cross comes in. Watanabe finds Mitoma. Big flick to your Suzuki's offside. He's offside. He scored the goal. And of course, the finish is immaculate when it's not going to matter. But it remains 1-2, and I think we're going to go a bit more aggressive here because Handa's struggling. So I'm going to go for Mitoma out to right wing back, Araki into the box-to-box, and Matsuo on as the number 10. A player who I was desperate to sell in the winter. The director of football accepted an offer, but he didn't go. And now we're relying on him to save us. It's not ideal, is it? What on earth can we do? When we went more positive in the other game, we didn't have another shot. It's an infuriating situation, but We don't have enough depth. Players are running out of steam after an hour. And we've got a game in 3 days to get through in the cup tie, which just isn't going to happen. Yasuda goes back into defence, for Watanabe, and now leader. Finds Yasuda. Lovely keeping the ball, but what on earth are you doing with it? Watanabe again. Pass the ball, go forward. Turn around, man. What are you doing? Wader gets it into Matoma. We're not playing short football. We're not playing cautiously. It certainly looked like it. A Suzuki gets in. That's got to be a foul. He's nowhere near the ball. He's flown in two-footed. Let's just hope he's not injured. But you've got to give a penalty there. Review being checked. Penalty awarded. Who's on the duty? I don't know. Tabakovic is not there. Relieved to come off. I mean, that's a worrying sign. Suzuki's nervous, but he's the top man at the minute. I'm just going to have to trust him, aren't I? No, he's down injured, so he can't take it. So we're now going to get an awful penalty taker, are we? No, Suzuki's got back up. I think because the challenge led to a yellow, he got to take it. Suzuki in, down the middle for 2-2. Now let's go and get the winner. Push yourself forward. Go positive. We're going to chase this game. We're going to go attacking. And we're going to encourage these boys, but we're going straight from the kickoff, which probably means we're going down the other end to see a goal. Chiba gets it at the back. Suzuki nicks it. He's inspiring us, the old skipper. Sakuragawa challenge, but it falls for Araki. In he goes towards the box. Back to Suzuki. Last-ditch defending from our former club. Wader gets down the right to Araki, though. Options in the middle. This is where the target man comes in. Mitoma goes inside, though. Yasuda shoots. Oh, what a goal. These are the types of players we've been missing while they're out injured. Yasuda with the magic. We go back to balanced, and now we cling on. Long shot rating of 8. He's just produced the best one of his life. And you've got to give it to Suzuki. He's come on and inspired this team. He's the worst of the 5 strikers on paper. But that is a huge victory for Kashima Antlers. It was undeserved. It was unconvincing. But let's not become comfortable, because you're going to have to do better than that. Our former club Gifu awaits next up. Yokohama dropped to 18th. And we've got ourselves back in the mix. Not comfortably, but importantly with 3 points. And at this stage of the season, it's just about getting wins. Let's go and get through the inbox, because we're getting a scout report for that left wing back that should have been here now. But overall, to get the win in the end has made it positive. It's not been convincing. In the league this season, we have not won any game by more than a goal. We've been draws galore, we've been nicking odd ones, but we're far from convincing. I'm going to play the reserves in the second leg of the League Cup and throw it. I don't care at this point. All now has to be focused on the Champions League. We're in the semi-final against Vissel Kobe, and what we're going to do, ambitiously, is come back for the second leg, because after that, we face the league champions in the J1 League as well, Kawasaki. If by any chance we get battered, or we batter Vissel Kobe in the first leg, I highly doubt the latter's going to happen, then we'll obviously skip ahead and show 2 league games. But if not, the second leg of the Champions League semi-final, and Kawasaki, the champions at home in a big J1 League fixture. If you're looking forward to those and you did enjoy this one, a big late turnaround against Yokohama. Could that be the 5 minutes that saves my job? We'll wait and find out later on. If you enjoyed it, do chuck a thumbs up on the video, subscribe for daily FM24 content. We'll be back with Southend United tomorrow, where we've got a deadline day that thankfully we're in charge of. We're also going to be back here for the final episode before Christmas with Vissel Kobe and Kawasaki, and something a little bit different on Christmas Day. In the meantime, though, you can find the Southend playlist up in the eye above. There's also links there to the Twitch channel for regular live streams and a football podcast where it's been a very busy week predicting festive fixtures and heading through manager specials. There's also a lot more to come, so please do subscribe over there if you haven't already. But thank you very much for watching, for your support as always, and I'll see you on Sunday, Christmas Eve, for 2 big games that may well cost us our job.